Welcome, everybody, to our latest Echo Means Business networking session. These are bi-weekly networking sessions where we gather and connect industry pros from various industries, various parts of the country, actually various parts of North America, to chat business management, strategy, and even tool tips. Tonight, we've invited Brent Mitchell of Highline Landscaping, Craig Wilford of Clean Cuts Yards, and Mitchell Gordy of Mitchell's Lawn Care to help us with a conversation on choosing how or even if to use social media to grow your business. As a reminder, Echo Means Business, now going into its 7th year, is the largest brand neutral community designed to help you get together with other pros and share tips and tricks on how to grow your business, regardless of the brands that you prefer or the tools that you use. But we'll talk more about that later. So let's get on to the conversation. I think the best way for everybody to get to know everybody that's listening and watching this broadcast or listening to this on our podcast later is to hear from you guys, not from me. So Craig, why don't you talk a little bit about your business? Let them know who you are, what you do.
Yeah, I'm Craig Williford. I run Clean Cut Yards. We're based out of Sherman, Texas, which is super North Texas. We're almost on the Oklahoma border. We started as a residential business, and we've transitioned over to a mostly commercial now. It's my dad and I. My dad's 74 years old, and he's still on the mower every single day. Well, every day that it's not raining. We've had a lot of that lately, but yeah, so it's my dad and I, and we do mostly commercial. And one of the reasons I'm super excited about this is because our social media platforms changed as we transitioned from residential to commercial.
Yeah, good point. And for the record, we tried to get Craig's dad, but we couldn't afford him, so we're stuck with Craig because he was the only one in the company that would do this for free. All right, Brent, how about you?
Hey guys, my name is Brent Mitchell with Highline Landscaping. We're based out of Beckley, West Virginia. It's the southern part of West Virginia. We've been in business for 5 years. We service mostly residentials. We just really like to focus on meeting people, getting to know people, and maintaining their properties the best we can do. We're a full service lawn, landscape, install, snow removal company. But we're super excited to be here this evening, and definitely a huge opportunity for us. We've been working on our social media for a while now, and just definitely an opportunity to have. So thank you all.
I am Mitchell Gordy, owner of Mitchell's Lawn Care LLC, newly located in Colfax. I was in High Point, North Carolina. Been in business 12 years and done a mixture of residential, commercial, going from the solo owner operator into full-time with crew members, back to a solo owner operator. Love what I do, love working in the green industry. And some of the viewers that may be viewing this later on don't know exactly how do I make a living if I'm only doing this solo, but I'm a full-time law enforcement officer in the state of North Carolina. So that's my full-time gig, and I'm just honored to be here tonight and hopefully maybe share some nuggets of information as well as get some from you guys and those that are watching tonight.
Thanks, Mitchell. We actually have a lot of first responders and have over the years had a lot of law enforcement in this community. Whether it's firefighter, law enforcement, paramedics, this industry really does seem to drive a lot of people from those professions into it. Whether it's because of the week on, week off, or 10 days on, 10 days off, and the free time that you have. But I found, just as an aside, which I think is going to segue now into our conversation about social media, what I'm finding this year with the members of our user advisory group that are in those professions is that it's because of their training on communications. Running a lawn care landscaping business is really a lot about communication and the ability to be able to communicate effectively, and you're trained very well in those industries on how to communicate. So I think that there's a lot to do there with why we're attracting so many. But So let's get into that. Let's start talking a little bit about that communication, which is essentially what social media is. Gives us the opportunity to communicate with a larger audience in a way that we've never, we didn't, weren't able 10 years ago, 20 years ago, where it was all door to door, knocking on that door. So let's start with the first question. I'll open this up to Craig, and then we'll just kind of see where the conversation takes us. But how much of a difference has social media made for you in the growth of your business? Craig, we'll get to the transition a little bit later on in the conversation, but let's just talk about your, growing up in the residential area.
Yeah, sure. So when we started in residential, I think the first thing we realized was that our clientele was, we could find our clientele real easy on Facebook. A lot of the older community, anybody over 30 years old, you're going to find probably has a Facebook page. And we found out that we could market through Facebook with very little money. It wasn't a huge amount of money we had to throw towards advertising. We learned how we could direct our marketing to very specific areas. And so we started with a door hanger campaign, and then we started throwing out Facebook ads directed in those different subdivisions that we were putting our door hangers, and it worked really well.
I think that's really interesting. I want to talk about that because we've had some mixed reactions within the community regarding door hangers. As you know, some people love it, works really well. Other people say, no, that's BS. It doesn't work well. As a marketing executive myself, I would always recommend that, the two side by side in a coordinated effort with coordinated messaging is important. So if you are going to leave a door hanger, that's one touch point. You're delivering, one brand visibility. Then you follow that up and they see you on social media, or they see a sponsored ad or a paid ad when they're surfing a website or something. That repetition and that familiarity grows. Did you find that was something unique to you, and that the combination of the two together worked better than just maybe running a social media ad?
For sure. So we did the door hangers, and then as soon as we did the door hangers, we found out that we could take our Facebook market ads and we could shrink them down to within 1 mile of a radius of 1 mile. And so we did that around the subdivisions that we were going to. And some of those 1 mile radiuses with Texas being so big, it really was only hitting about 1,500 people. And so I could put a $5 ad out, and it was going to hit those people maybe 3 or 4 times before I ran out of the $5. So they were seeing my door hanger, and then days later they were seeing my logo again and again and again. And it was really beneficial. It really helped, made things real easy.
And so you focused predominantly on Facebook when you were growing your business?
Yes. For the very beginning, it was just door hangers and Facebook. That was it.
All right. Before we get on to Brent, I want to ask you, drill down a little bit further. So you used it specifically for not branding necessarily, but it was pure on lead generation and customer acquisition.
Right. So yes. So we invested $99 in our door hangers. Obviously, a lot of time putting them out, and then we were investing $5 a week in ads for 3 weeks. Is all we did on Facebook, and we absolutely hammered those subdivisions. People told me they saw me 5 or 6 times. Like, it was getting to the point where I was getting annoying that my logo was coming over and over and over again.
Yeah, so
that's a good thing, though.
Yeah,
Chris, that muscle memory for people.
Yeah, no, it's true. All right, Brent, how about you? Let's, in your business, how important has social media been to customer acquisition, or maybe even customer service?
So yeah, we started out with Facebook ads as well when we were growing and stuff. I started this business right out of high school, so I was young, trying to get to know a lot of people. New kid on the block, trying to get people to take care of their properties and stuff, and I was getting turned down a whole lot. I mean, I was young, people weren't taking me serious, and so I reverted to Facebook, started doing Facebook ads weekly, just like Craig did and stuff, and we quickly found out that we could niche into those certain areas and do a radius whole area. And so that really worked for us, and it drove sales crazy. It was amazing how quick we grew. And then all of a sudden this year, we really had to slow down, we didn't slow down on the Facebook ads, but Facebook actually banned our ads. So I don't know why. They said it wasn't the proper content or something like that. So I had to revert to something different. So we started to use Instagram quite a bit, using hashtags. We get recognized through that kind of stuff right there. But our biggest one right now is TikTok. A lot of new landscapers are just going over to TikTok to make videos and stuff like that. And my followers have went through the roof here lately. My website is in the bio there on TikTok, so I get a lot of people going to the website, doing a lot of feedback and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if that's exactly drove sales or not, but it's just gotten us recognized and the word out and stuff like that. So it's been different, but definitely been rewarding for us for sure. So
All right, I got to talk about TikTok because I mean I have to deal with it because this is the industry that I'm in. But
right.
I think it's a ridiculous network. I mean, it is. I thought Facebook was a time suck. TikTok is like a major time suck.
You're
So
correct on
okay,
that.
and I'll have to admit, when I when we were planning this, I obviously looked at your social channels. That's one of the reasons why you're here, because we know that you've done a good job marketing yourself and your business specifically on social media. But I haven't seen your TikTok. So if I go there, am I going to see you like dancing and shit, or like what do you
Definitely
do?
not. There's all kinds of videos of leaf removals, snow removals. We just posted one yesterday of a new landscape install that we done. TikTok also has its ups and downs too. There's a lot of people out there that think they know a whole lot more than what you do, and of course the negative comments roll in quite a bit and stuff. But it's just one of those things you got to deal with, I'm sure, with everything. But no, you'll definitely not find us dancing around.
Although that you could start something there, get that leaf blower on your back and
You sure could.
right. Well, how do you? So I'm interested because I'm going to get back to that. I want to get to Mitchell, but I want to get back to the comment I made a note here of driving sales and measuring sales to your actual effort that you put into social media, because I think that's going to be an important topic for the people that are going to be listening and or are watching live now. But Mitchell, how about you give us a sense? How important has it been for you to growing sales?
Real quick, I just saw Danny Lanier make a comment that he's a dancer for sure. So, Brent, if you need some tips and pointers, don't get them from that guy.
I know.
But anyways,
I've seen him dance.
Yeah, and he wears his wife's robe when he does it too. So, but anyways, I'm a little bit different. I think I'm a little bit more old school because I was more late to the social media game than some other guys. I had already built my company from a solo owner operator into a full-time business before I ever got involved with social media. And I guess I just steered clear of it, but stumbled upon it, created a Facebook page for the company. And I got on Facebook first, and I was using Facebook to attack and target the local market. I felt it was easier to do that with Facebook than any other platform. So even to this day, right now, I think I've been on Facebook maybe 6 years, 5 or 6 years. I still keep Facebook as my local go-to. I use it more as a resume to lean on so people can see work, stuff like that. Try to keep it tailored for that. And building off something Craig was saying about door hangers, I'm a huge advocate for door hangers because it has worked very well for my company. It depends on the type of man or woman that you are in with your company. I'm a people person. I got the gift of gab, and I feel like if I can get in front of that potential customer, I know I can sell myself. I know I can sell my product. And I felt like I could never do that through social media. So I still always hung on to that old school, like guerrilla marketing type thing with boots on pavement. And it's something that I've been a huge advocate of and supporter of, and still recommend it to guys today. People still want to see who you are and put a face with, your service. Building off of that, I did what, Craig and Brent said, that I would do some Facebook ads, not near to the level that they did, because like I said, I was using it as more of just a resume, kind of a go-to. That was my website. And then I think it was 2017, stumbled into Instagram, which has kind of been my go-to for the last few years. And it's where I've met, these gentlemen here and got invited to this. So I've really not, even though my Instagram profile has excelled, far past my Facebook, I've not ever to this day got any work or business from it, whereas some other guys have. And I think it may be because of how I've targeted and what I've done with it, and more treated as more of like accessing the community that we're a part of with the green industry, and reaching out to other contractors and doing tips and tricks, and how can I help the guys that make up our industry, as opposed to how can I use this Instagram platform to build Mitchell's Lawn Care. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
All right. And I think the interesting point here is that social media, when we say, are you involved in social media? And I've been doing these interviews now for 7 years. I've talked to more lawn care professionals than I can count. And when we talk about social media, a lot of the guys say, I'm too old. I've missed the boat. I don't understand it, or I don't have time to be wasting, throwing up comments. Social media for your business isn't just about posting comments. As you guys have just clearly articulated, it's a phenomenal advertising platform and a cost-effective one, right? If nothing else, learn how to use it for the purposes of targeting ads. And if you can focus on that, you don't necessarily have to spend every day developing videos or photoshopping, yourself onto, a greener lawn than your actual lawns, or, painting stripes so that you look good on, personally on social media. It's social proof. So I know, Mitchell, you were saying that it was more of a resume. One of the things we advocate for, at our agency all the time is social proof. One of the first things people do when you introduce yourself or you introduce your business is they go to your website or they go to a social media platform to look you up.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So sometimes you don't need to engage. Social media is about engaging, but if all you're choosing to use social media for is social proof, which is let people go find you, see that your stuff is good, see that you've got clients, see that they're not taking a risk by hiring you, then it's done its purpose. So how effective has that part of it, I know you say you didn't drive a lot of business from Instagram necessarily, but how many of your prospective clients have gone to check you out first before hiring you?
They have done it because and even existing clients, like to this day, that I've had, 10, 11, 12 years, that, that they've stumbled upon Instagram and they said, oh, I saw your stuff. And, it's pretty cool what you're posting and stuff like that. But it's nice to have that, so you can, I guess, show proof of what you're doing. I don't engage or talk to any, customers that I have now on Instagram. It's almost like they're two separate worlds for me. Facebook, I even have some of my customers that will like some of the pictures I share, but I try to keep those two worlds separate, because I'm one person on Instagram. I've got a different vision and directive that are the direction that I'm going with Instagram that I do on Facebook, as opposed to, some guys that are trying to use it to build their brand, build their business. Like Instagram, like I said, I'm trying to engage Craig and Brent and pick their mind, if I can help them, if they can help me, and these people that I'm seeing in the comment section, I've talked to some of these people, many, many, many times over the last 5 years. That's what I love Instagram for, which could be different than what, Brent uses it for or what Craig uses it for. And then YouTube, that's a totally different thing. And sorry, Brent, I'm not doing the TikTok thing. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But I've lost track of the question. So
actually, you already answered it. But how about the other two? Let's open it up to Brent or Craig if they want to weigh in on that. So in terms of question, do you find that your clients go to you, or your prospects will actually go and check you out first before hiring you after you've had that initial conversation?
I think I think initially when we were pushing towards our residentials, I think those Facebook ads would have people go towards our Facebook page, and they would check things out. But now that we've transitioned over, I don't see it anymore now.
Okay. How about timing? Let's talk a little bit about the effort. If you're going to make the effort to get on social media, you need to be somewhat consistent with it. The one thing, again, just from a marketing advice standpoint, when I got a client at my desk or in our boardroom, the first thing I say is don't have a Facebook page or an Instagram account or a Twitter account if you're never going to post to it. It's better to not have anything than to have something that's stagnant and dormant. But, Mitchell, you said you're a one-man operator. How do you find the time, and how much should you be posting?
It depends on what your end goal, what you want out of it. If and I'm going to keep going back to Instagram because that's kind of been my bread and butter for the last 5 years as far as what I'm trying to do with social media. My Instagram profile, went from 0 followers in 2017 to 17,500 as we sit, right here. But I have treated my Instagram profile as a full-time business. I'm on it every single day. I'm engaging other contractors, other people. I respond to every single person that comments on my posts. I then take some time and, I engage other people on their posts. And it takes work. It takes effort. I do 2 hashtags at the end of every single post, and I lean on these 2 hashtags all the time. One of them is hashtag earned, never given. So if you want it, go out there and earn it. Nobody's going to hand it to you. And 2, hashtag hard work pays off. So, anybody that's watching that wants to build their social media platform, it doesn't matter what it is. I just dove into YouTube, did a lot of research, and it's working, but I'm hungry, and everything I do, I'm hungry. And if people want this to work, they've got to be hungry. But you've got to be active. You've got to make the time instead of making excuses. Craig, I see him commenting, liking a ton of people's stuff. Same thing with Brent. I've known Brent for a while on Instagram. And he was one of the very first stickers I got with a sticker swap. So, if people want it, they've got to be hungry. They've got to go out there and get it. And you've got to set aside the time. But you've got to be careful because you don't want to set aside too much time and you're affecting, one, your business, your real business that's paying for the lights and paying for the food and everything. And you're not affecting your personal life, parents, significant other, children. You don't want to neglect those people because you're getting hung up on the numbers. How many people have liked my post? How many? Don't get hung up on that. So you got to be careful with it also. And I'll end this little soapbox with this. I talk to people all the time on how they can build their Instagram profile, and I got a lot of people that message me, "Hey, can you share my account? Can you share my account? Can you share my account?" I am not a proponent or advocate for someone that is spoon-fed. I wasn't spoon-fed. I went out there, I made it happen, and that's what I tell these people. They're going to respect it a lot more if you put in the work, and that's what I tell these people. Hey, and you may not like me for it, but I'm gonna go to bed at night and feel good about the advice I gave. And then I had a guy contact me 2 nights ago over some information I gave him on how to build his Instagram profile 2 years ago. And he said, "I don't know if I ever thanked you for this, but I appreciate it. I was motivated." He built his account from like nothing to 3, 4, 5,000 followers. And now he's getting work off of it. He's getting HOA contracts and stuff like that. So that's rewarding. If you want it, be hungry and go grab it. I can go off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
And that's all right. That's what we're here for.
So for us too, we don't only own the landscaping company, we own a nursery as well. So Facebook for that side of the business has also helped out really well because when we get new products in, we're able to take pictures of it and send it out, and the public sees it and comes in, and it's really drove sales up quite a bit for us through Facebook for it. But as far as anything else, it's kind of best scenario for it. So the nursery has picked up more than the landscaping has as far as Facebook goes nowadays, but it's definitely been a learning process for it. It's been really cool. So,
dude, I mean, respect. That's a racket that you got going there. And this is coming from somebody whose background is Italian. I understand what mobs and rackets are all about. So you sell people the flowers, you let them plant it, then you say, "Now let me come in and I'll actually maintain it for you." That's
Well, and it
like
also
giving
goes hand in
a
hand
crack
too.
at.
When they come and pick out the flowers, they say, "Oh, I wish we had somebody to install." Well, here you go. We're here to help. So
That's a racket, dude. Oh
yeah.
man, so much
So
respect.
we have 7 acres of roadfront property right on the main road. So during the fall, spring rush, it's super busy. Mother's Day, we sell lots of flowers. So far this year, I think we've sold 6 or 7 truckloads of flowers and shrubs and trees and different things like that. And then it's starting to die down now because the summer's rolling around. Not many people are looking to buy anything like that nowadays. But the fall, we do a sunflower maze and stuff like that. So it's been a really neat new business to get into and been really cool for us to do. My wife runs it while I'm running the landscaping business during the days. And so she really enjoys that as well. So
Well, that's good. That's awesome. Craig, I mean, I want to follow up on something that Mitchell said, but Craig, how about you? It's you and your dad. You guys manage large properties. So the good thing is that, you're not hopping, 10, 12, 20 properties a day as a result of that. Does that allow you a little bit more time to actually manage your social media? Because you're pretty active on social media. How much time do you spend?
Yeah, I I should do more actually. I sort of set a goal in the beginning of trying to post or get involved at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and try to post something in the morning before we take off. It doesn't always work though. I try my best. I've looked back and seen that sometimes, gosh, I only post like once a week or something like that if I'm lucky. But the goal is I'd like to get like to sit down and put out 3 things just to get some involvement, have some people see what we're doing and stuff like that. But it does take time, and I'm one of those people that I see something, I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this on, and then I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm going to put it on. I second guess myself a lot and stuff like that. So there's a lot of thought going into when I post on whether it be Instagram or Twitter or whatever it would be.
Oh, yeah, that's good. But I think, the important thing is scheduling. As long as it's consistent, I think that's what's going to come down to a good account, right? The other tip I'd like to share with everybody, if you don't feel like you have a lot of time, go out to the local colleges. They have marketing students and marketing interns that are always looking for businesses to work with, or whether it's as an intern, and they'll come with you. And over the summers, right, that's the perfect place for them, or the perfect time for them, because they're not in school. So I know that not enough lawn care, landscape arborists use that resource. A lot of times you can get them for very little. They can set it up for you, even if you don't know how to set it up, or they can manage it during your summer months when you're busiest and you're out in the field all the time. So something to think about. One of the challenges that I know a lot of people in this industry have is, do I use social media to promote myself and to engage with other pros, which is great, right? There's a lot of reasons you can do that. There's education. It's what we do over at Echo Means Business, so we totally get it. But you're actually managing 2 audiences, right? You saw Jacqueline and Abigail just mentioned in the comments earlier that we did like a business to business, a professional interview for Echo Means Business, and a client actually ended up seeing that video and ended up giving them a job, from what I read in the comments. So one of the challenges, and I'd like to get your take on this, and do you even think about this when you're out there engaging and talking about pricing and how to price and certain tools to use or not use? You're talking about customers. Your customers will find that because they're going to be Googling it. Are you cognizant of that? Are you watching what you say because you know that a potential client might be watching that?
You would jump in here real quick. So I think it's great because, and it has something to do with what I do for a living, being in the world of law enforcement and honesty, and kind of living in a glass house. And I think the more that we talk about it, and the more that it's out there, especially for the pros, because I hint on this all the time and I harp on it all the time that unfortunately our prices in the green industry feel like they're stuck in the 1980s while everything else is going up, 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 up. But yet there's guys out here right now that I know are cutting grass for $25 to $30 a yard. And you can't do that. I'm sorry. You can't. They're going to be out of business, so that's why I think that talking prices and pricing, whatever it is, hardscaping, whatever we're doing, it don't matter, cleaning glass, whatever, washing cars, talk about it, as a community, as pros to get your prices up to where they need to be. And customers need to see that, honesty is key. Anytime I submit a quote or estimate to my customers, it's always been itemized. When I first started, I didn't do that. It was just, hey, I'm getting ready to do A through D at your house, and the price is $500. Okay. Well, we live in a day and age now where people want to know, well, how did you come to that number? Where's my money going? And I learned very quickly that if I itemized my quotes, and again, building on something I said at the beginning, having the gift of gab, and number one, being a salesman, because you are the product that you're trying to sell. If you can't sell yourself, you're not going to be able to sell crap that you do. So itemizing my quotes and having everything for my customers to see, there was no questions, there was no BS, no red tape, none of that stuff. And I feel like that's how I've always been on Instagram. I don't tiptoe around or, feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I think everybody should see it because everybody has the right to know. And it's like anything. So I'm a huge supporter of talking about it. And I don't feel like we should have to watch what we say because, your customer may be watching. Social media is not that. If you're putting yourself out there, everybody and their mother's going to see it.
Yeah, that's true. I've always wondered about that because sometimes I see guys go off on a tangent and get all negative and talking about a horrible client and a horror.
Well, that's totally different subject. You got to be careful with that. Yeah, that's what the DMs are for.
Yeah, do that in private. Don't air your dirty laundry out there.
Yeah, but like talking pricing, some guys are very hesitant to do it because it was a post I made the other day about working together as a community. And I think for the most part, guys on social media do that. Now, granted, the three of us are in different states. Okay, so we're not competing with each other. But there's always stuff out there, and this is totally unrelated to what we're talking about. But, I may do something that Craig doesn't do. Craig may do something that Brent doesn't do. Brent does something I don't do. So where am I getting at with this? Network. So I try to network with the guys where I live, to lean on them and have them lean on me. That way, collectively, we can get the jobs done. And I really feel like the world would be a better place if we all did that. So that's why I love doing this, and I'm a huge advocate for that stuff. But yeah, be careful airing out dirty laundry.
So can we talk a little bit about strategy? Craig, you built, little known fact, Craig was a tennis pro, built up quite a career for himself using social media, if I remember correctly from our interview. What if you had to give advice in terms of what is the strategy that a lawn care pro or anybody in the green industry, regardless of what you do, should be deploying? What would that be?
Oh, we're talking social media here.
Social media, yes.
Yeah. So that transition I was talking about earlier was when we were residential. Our two key areas we were going after were Facebook ads and Google My Business. Obviously, with Google My Business, people are always searching for things, and if you've got a strong ranking there, your name's always going to come up early. But as we transitioned towards commercial, we went towards more towards Instagram and Google My Business. So Google My Business has always been in the background for us is how can we get our name out there? How can we be seen through searches as much as possible? But we did transition from the Facebook ads hitting those residential areas to now starting to use Instagram because we wanted to use that as a portfolio for all the commercial places that we were trying to get involved with. So as we transition towards commercial, we knew that we could use Instagram as a way to tell commercial businesses, hey, you can actually see what we do. We don't have to just talk over the phone. You can sit down at a computer and you can look at the stuff we work on. And that's why my Instagram may be a little more different than some other places, because I do use it as a portfolio as much as possible.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right. How about you, Brent? If you had to share your secrets, what's the strategy that you go into it, or do you just wing it every day when you have a chance to post?
Truthfully, we wing it over here. Whenever I feel like there's a good opportunity to post, we post. Some days I'll take pictures of the work that we've done, and I'll think post, and I'll get home and sit down to make the post, and I'm like, nah, not really worth it today. And so we always save it, and we store up a bunch of different pictures throughout the week and stuff, and just hit those. I tend to post during the evening hours. A lot of people are usually on all social media platforms during the evening hours. So whenever I'm posting, I post maybe like 6 o'clock or so, and a lot of people feedback off of those. Middle of the day posts don't really get that much interaction at all. So we just, like I said, we just kind of wing it and go with it, and it just works out.
Well, you know what? It doesn't. It sounds to me like you're not as ad hoc as you think you are. If you know the times of day that work better than others, you've got a strategy, my friend.
True.
Right. So it's a matter of experimenting. I think that's the lesson learned, right?
It
And
was.
I like that, because I don't want anybody listening to this to think I got to have my shit together. I got to go to school for this. I got to have like a business plan or a marketing plan written for how to make social media work for me. Sometimes just winging it is fine, as long as you're paying attention to what works.
Right.
Do more of what works, and what doesn't work, well, guess what? Do less of that.
Right.
Right. The other key is always be taking photos. Social media is a very visual platform, regardless of what it is. So just keep taking photos. Some of them are going to be great. Some of them are not going to be great, but you never know when you're going to be able to use them at some point else. Right?
Trooper Gordy, do you have a specific time that you post?
Unmute. So I tried to early on. Let me just answer your question. No, but I tried early on to like hit that nail on the head. But as my profile grew, and this is Instagram, as my profile grew, I realized quickly that I was starting to grab outside of our green industry community. Okay. Let's be honest. There's only so many of us in this community that are on these platforms. Okay. And then you're going to be inside this bubble. Okay. And then you're going to get to a certain number where you start to punch out of this bubble. Okay. So I learned very quickly that activity was my friend. Just being active, okay? Instead of trying to, manipulate the algorithms, they're going to do what they want to do, okay? And that's a beast that you can't see and that you can't control. So I try to, and I look at my insights now, and I can tell what age group, are the ones that follow me, where they're at in the country or the world. So in that regards, it doesn't matter to me, like Brent said, posting at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., I'm going to get just as much reach or impression as if I post at 6 a.m. So with me and my platform, it's a little bit different now than what it used to be. It just depends on what you want to do with your platform. Okay. Craig, you were saying that you were using Instagram as a portfolio. People could scroll through it and, they just want to see your work. I was doing that at first, but to me, Instagram is a form of business now for me. Okay. Based on, relationships I have. Okay. I'm not going to go into that, but, so Instagram in and of itself, or social media, is a form of business for me. So I look at it and go about it a little bit differently than I did in 2017 and 2018. But any advice that I can give people is just, the top of your list is just to be active. And it just depends on what you want to do. Craig, if you want it to be just a portfolio, it really doesn't matter what time you post. If you want it to be something that your customers can access or something like that, to you it shouldn't matter what time you post, because you're not trying to get outside that bubble. You know what I mean? It just depends on what you want to do with it. With me, I was trying to access anything and everything that I possibly could and help as many people as I possibly could. And in order to do that, like I was posting at 6 a.m., 1 p.m., 10 p.m., there are some, ups and downs, and some work better than others. But my thing was post daily and be active.
Yeah. You said social media is a business. I want to provide a perspective on that, because you are very true. There's two types of business. I mean, social media is also a time suck. It really depends on how you use it. But
it's the biggest rabbit hole there is.
Oh no, yeah, especially if you're on TikTok. But social media is a business, but it could be two different businesses. As you said, you could actually turn your connections and your audience and the size of your audience, regardless of whether it's YouTube, TikTok, your Instagram, or Facebook, into a business, whether it's for sponsored content, sponsored posts, or just networking and connecting for other business opportunities. But if you're going to be using this as a lead generation tool or as a customer service tool, then that is also a business. That's your business. It's what's driving money through your landscape business or through your lawn care business. And you need to treat it as that. One of the biggest, I think, problems that I see when it comes to a lot of the guys that we vet, when we're looking at members for Echo Means Business, or the UAG or others, is they don't realize that that is a marketing expense. It's a marketing function of their business or a customer service function of their business. That it can save them a lot of time and make them a lot of money, but they have to work it. You also mentioned insights. I want to highlight that you look at your insights. Too few people do. You don't realize that if you create a Facebook page, a business page, you have access to insights. Same thing with Instagram. Take a look at it tells you what's working, what's not working, what posts are getting more traffic than others, and learn from that. Social media is not just a thing to do to waste time. As you're hearing from these guys, it could drive a lot of revenue.
Yeah, I wanted to. I was just looking at some of the landscape manicurist and Jar Landscaping are making some very, very good points. They're saying that the time things are posted is huge. Consistency is key, and that's very, very important. But like I said, I'll add to it. It just depends on what you're trying to do with it. So consistency is very, very, very important.
Yeah. So we just got another comment. And I was going to ask this question a little bit later on, but you might as well get to it now, because I have strong opinions about this, for myself personally, how I use social media, as well as for our business. Should you link all your social accounts together or post different pics and stories to each one? So I'm going to open it up to the panel. What do you guys think?
I don't. I like to post different stuff to keep everything a little bit different. And I think the things I post on Facebook versus the things I post on Instagram versus Twitter are all very different. And I am hitting a different audience. So I try to keep it different, but B, I don't want people seeing the same picture all the time. Yeah. Because people that follow me on Twitter may follow me on Instagram and may follow me on Facebook. And if they see the same picture 3 times, I don't think they'd want to follow me anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with the same thing. I don't think a lot of people would engage as much as if we posted the TikTok videos on Facebook, and just different profiles have different meanings. And a lot of people post their TikToks on Instagram, which is fine because that's still a video area and you can add stories and different stuff like that. But as far as mixing the two, we don't do that either. We post a lot of different things on each site. So.
I know, Mitchell, you've already said that you use Instagram completely different than you use the others. So obviously you think the same thing.
Well, something, yes. And something I was writing down is, I said a little bit a while ago, like, I'm new to YouTube, okay, as in July 31st of last year. I hated YouTube for years. I hated it. I was on Instagram for a reason, and I feel like different people, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but different people navigate to different platforms for different reasons. Okay. Like, I'm not the TikTok guy, Sam, just like you said. Okay. Nothing against it. It's just not my flavor. Okay. And Facebook is totally different than Instagram. Okay. The person that's on, your TikTok, your Instagram, they're the ones that just want to scroll. They want to see a quick picture and a quick video. They don't want to waste 10, 15, 20 minutes of their time to watch you build something, mow something, clean something, talk about something. They don't have that time in their schedule. They want something quick. People that are on Facebook are there for different reasons. The people that are navigate to YouTube devote more time to following or subscribing to less people and tuning into you like you're, their favorite show on Netflix or whatever. So just like Craig and Brent said, that I don't do the same across all boards. I do share my Instagram stories to my Facebook stories. That's the only thing that I do that kind of goes across two platforms. Other than that, like Craig said, my Instagram posts, which I post daily, I don't post daily anywhere else except for Instagram. Facebook, a couple times a week. YouTube, I do 2 videos a week. So I keep each platform completely separate, and I think anybody watching this later or right now, you'll be much more successful on those platforms if you keep them different, regardless of what you're trying to do with it.
Yeah, I was really hoping I get to argue with one of you over this, but apparently we're all in agreement. Again, from a putting on I'm not in the lawn care industry. I manage the community. I run a marketing agency. I can tell you that is the advice we give everybody. When you look at the studies of how people use social media, they will go to them for different reasons. Craig already, mentioned at the beginning that, he went at Facebook earlier because you've got a greater percentage of 30-year-old plus on that community. And if that's who you think is going to be paying you, and that's your audience, that's your demographic we're in your area, then great. Then you know where you need to focus. People go to Facebook to waste time a lot of times. That's where I want to go see, did my high school girlfriend or boyfriend get fat after 30 years? Did I make a mistake? Like the cat memes. They're looking to basically have a laugh, argue. It's, Twitter, you want to go if you want to argue with somebody, right? Twitter's just become a complete cesspool. YouTube, it's more entertainment, but also educational. The studies show that people are going to YouTube for that education. They're going to Pinterest for inspiration, right? So Pinterest is not a well enough used social media platform in this industry. It is predominantly women. Women make most of the household purchase decisions. And where they're going to spend money. And that's where the majority of women are going for inspiration. So if you've got great photography, if you've got great befores and afters, that's where you want to start building some boards. So you got to think about that, right? And it's not just because they're different audiences. It could be the same audience, but that same audience goes to different channels with a different mindset, right? I use LinkedIn and I use Instagram. Right. But when I'm on LinkedIn, I've got a different mindset for how I want to engage. If you go to Instagram and you start, wishing me a happy birthday or asking me about my kids or whatever, I'm going to just tune that out because that's not what I'm there for.
I wanted to add real quick because you said something that like lit a light bulb in my head. I know of one guy in particular, and I'm not going to say his name, but he follows me on Instagram and he has subscribed to my YouTube channel. And he will comment on my Instagram posts with like 1 emoji or 2 emojis. That's it. Like, that's his comment. That's how he engages me on Instagram. On my YouTube videos, he will write like a dissertation on my videos, like support, engaging me, like straight up conversation. And it is literally like it's 2 different people. But it just shows the 2 different platforms. And that just made me think about that because same guy, but he interacts with me totally different on these 2 different platforms.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think one of you guys was trying to say something. No, okay, cool. So I also wrote down here when you guys were talking, do you need them all? So let me put that question out there. Do you need all of the social media networks that you guys are talking about if you want to be involved in social media for the purposes of growing your business and driving leads or customer service?
I don't anymore. I don't need Facebook because we've like I said, we've transitioned towards commercial, and I don't think it doesn't serve any purpose. But it is Facebook, and I know how huge it is, and so I don't ever want to completely get away from it because there's a possibility in the future we could need it again. So it's going to stay there, and I'll keep it active to a point. And then as far as Instagram keeps growing, and I've stayed away from YouTube a little bit, but because I know we talked about that rabbit hole earlier, and you can get down a rabbit hole real fast watching 500 of Mitchell's videos. I just watched one last night.
Yeah. How about you, Brent? What do you think? Do you need them all?
Not necessarily. Just another background on me. I actually disappeared for about 2 years because I went away to school to study landscape architecture. We weren't posting anything at all. We weren't running the business at all. My dad was still mowing a little bit of the yards just to keep the name around and stuff. But we just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And when we came back, we decided to ramp it up again and stuff. But I don't necessarily think you need them all. One is good to have, I guess, if you're trying to get started and stuff, but definitely it doesn't beat going door to door to say, hey, how are you? Meet the people, get to know them, and see what you can do from there.
Right now, where I'm at, I told my story recently on a YouTube video of how I've kind of come full circle, and I'm back solo owner operator again. I'm not doing any marketing. I just want to maintain what I've got, so I'm not doing any ads, no nothing. I've left a recorded voicemail message on my business phone that, hey, I'm booked, and unless you need A, B, C, D, go somewhere else. Much nicer than that, but you know what I mean. So would I get rid of any of them? No. And this is why right here. Like I said, I had flipped a different switch with it. And now so many of these people, every name that has popped up in the comment section, I know. Maybe not personally. I've met a lot of them. But I love it for the social aspect of it. When I go to GIE, I don't care about the booths. I don't care about the brands. I don't care about, if anybody's watching, I'm just take that lightly. But I care about the social aspect of it, and meeting friends in the community. I mean, I've met people that are in Scotland, Australia, like all over the world, and that's why I would keep what I've got right now. I would never get rid of that. And even Hannah, my girlfriend, like these people have engaged her on her social media platforms, and some of these people feel like family, like they've shared stuff with us that we never could have dreamt of, and I feel like we're part of some of these people's families. So to me, that's what it's all about right now. It's not about building my brand because that's already been built and I'm blessed, but I would not get rid of any of it, because if I did, I wouldn't be here with y'all right now. I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Did he say he doesn't care about the booze or the booths?
I'm sure it's the booths, not the booze.
Booths.
He said it's about the social aspect of it. Okay. So I want to clarify something. There is one booth that is going to be very, very important for everybody to attend, and you have to pay attention to, and that's the Echo Means Business Social Media Lounge, which we're going to be hosting again this year at the GIE. So Plus Expo, GIE Plus Expo, until they change their name, which I think is going to happen next year. But in the meantime, we're still calling it GIE Plus Expo. So come, free Wi-Fi codes, guys, and potentially some massage chairs. Anyway, come join us, meet us there.
I'm all for a massage chair.
So I want to circle back because it's funny, because something you said now, Mitchell, brought me back to a note that I wrote right at the beginning of this conversation, which is you got to know your end goal. There's no sense in embarking on, what social media platform, let alone how and what your strategy is going to be on those platforms, unless you first understand your goal. This is just a general business rule or marketing rule. If you're just focusing on marketing, it could be for personal branding, Could be for customer acquisition. A couple of you guys have already talked about how you use Facebook to grow your business to get to the point that you are now. But it could also be used for customer service. I want to dedicate a little bit of time before our time here ends on using social media for customer service. I got some ideas and some tips and strategies there, but have you guys ever, any of you, and I'll open this up to the floor, any of you used it for purposes of customer service?
So we actually just recently completed one of our bigger jobs here, and usually after we complete landscape installs and stuff, I ask the customers if they are on Facebook and if they can go and give a review. If they're not on review, or if they're not on Facebook, of course they can find us on Google as well. They go and leave a review there as well. So I've noticed that the people that do leave the reviews, different people see them and stuff like that, and it does boost a little bit for us as far as that goes.
So I don't know whether one of the problems with social media in general, and this has kind of been evolving every year, gets worse and worse, is that people will go to social media to bitch. If you've done something that pisses them off, they instantly say, "I'm going to go and leave a bad review on a social media channel someplace, or yell at you." Whereas if you've done a really great job, they're less likely to go to social media and say, "What a great job you did." Right? It's always when you're asking, you have to ask for a testimonial, because people don't naturally say positive things about other people. You have to give them the reason to do it. You have to give them a mechanism to do it. You got to ask. But heaven forbid you look at somebody the wrong way. They're going to write, one of the dissertations that Mitchell was talking about, about how you looked at them the wrong way, or you left one blade of grass on the driveway, and they're going to make a big deal out of it. Those are great opportunities. Can we talk a little bit about that?
And regardless, for guys that are out there that will never see or hear what we're doing right now, everybody has a social media presence, regardless if you're on a platform or not. And you've got to be careful how you handle your business these days, as opposed to 15, 20 years ago, because now there's this huge platform that people can just smear you on, unfortunately. And not just your customers, other contractors are just as dirty. We all run across the hater or the troll every now and then. So when I was running my company full time, I tried to get my customers. I did use it for a customer service thing, because what one of these guys said was, word of mouth advertising. That was my biggest proponent. But I told him, hey, if you were satisfied with the job I did, can you go to Facebook and give us a review, or go to Google? Google was the biggest kicker as of late, where I've generated a ton of work. It skyrocketed compared to any of the other platforms we talk about, because everybody Googles everything, and I got it to where my customers were so active on Facebook and Google that when they typed in, all they did was type in lawn care, and then my hometown, Mitchell's Lawn Care, was the first thing that popped up. And most people are going to call the top 2 or 3 people that they see. So I think using it as a customer service tool is very important. Communicating with your clients through it is also important. It's a customer wants easy, and if you can create that easy form of communication, it's only going to help you excel.
Yeah, no, that's true. And the search engine optimization value of it is another reason why, if you're hesitating, it's worthwhile. A lot of times people will put in a comment, like landscapers in my area or something like that. And often a Facebook post will show up in a Google search result, right? If it's getting a lot of clicks and a lot of likes, Google will index it and will serve it up, or a Twitter comment or a Twitter post that's getting a lot of likes or a lot of comments. So just to drive more eyeballs when people are out searching for you is very important. But it's also important to notice, I noticed, even Ma and Pa Lee, what I mean? They do this a lot. If they're going to be away for a while, or if the weather is bad and they're not going to be getting out, instead of calling every one of their clients, they'll post something on social media and give a status update of where they are and are they going to be out in the field today or not, for whatever reason. And you train your clients to look for that. So, you put that on your invoices, you put that on your, the door hangers that you leave behind, or whatever. Follow us on, for updates. And a lot of times, if it's done well, I've seen a lot of lawn care professionals use their social media accounts to educate their clients, to say, hey, we're coming in for like a hot spell. You're going to want to, put up your sprinkler system to 4 nights a week instead of 3 nights a week, or let it go for an extra 20 minutes, or don't forget to set your irrigation system to run in the middle of the night instead of 12 noon when it's hottest. That actually makes their job easier and the results better. But you use it as a customer service educational tool. It's a very often overlooked way to use social media. So I want to wrap this up with a final tip from every one of you. What is the one thing, if you're going to be getting involved in social media? I'll start with you, Mitchell. If you're choosing to get involved in social media, or if you are and you want to improve what you're doing, what's the one thing you want to leave everybody with?
Wow. Why are always these like one word answers or one
It doesn't have to be one word.
topic thing? Those are the toughest. They're like, what's your favorite movie? It's impossible.
All right, make it two.
No, I joke. If I could say one thing is, don't be afraid to ask questions. That right there, that opens up the door for so many things. So many things. Don't be afraid to talk to people. It doesn't matter if you've got one follower, because and this comes up a lot, social media influencers, and I know I'm gonna get on a soapbox here, but that social media influencers don't run legit businesses, or they're fake contractors or whatever, and everybody judges success differently. Okay. A guy that is a solo owner operator that may have 30, 40, 50,000 followers or a million, whatever, he may only net 150, 200,000 a year in business, whereas opposed to a guy that's got 200 followers may have a $3 million company. Okay. We're all successful. Okay. Where I'm getting at is people that follow us, you, Brent, you, Craig, everybody that's in the comments section, okay, that follows Echo Means Business. My advice is, regardless of the number, regardless if you've got 500 followers, 5,000, or 500,000, do not be afraid or nervous to reach out and talk to that person, because on the other side of that device, whether it's a phone, a computer, whatever, we're all human. Look at us. You know what I'm saying? We all have knowledge that we all need to pass around to everybody. So don't be afraid to ask a question. I'm done.
Brent, what's your final word on the matter?
I think I have to revert back to what Mitchell said earlier about being active. I mean, you just have to stay active, stay engaged, and don't be afraid to get your name out there too. Who cares what you post? You may be just now getting started mowing grass, and you're not really striping it like everybody else does or anything like that. Don't be afraid of it. Just post and get your name out there and be there, and you'll get there.
All right, Craig?
Build your Google My Business page. Get on there, post some good pictures, all the good work you do, put it on there. If you've got good clients that like you, ask them to leave you 5-star reviews. You build your Google My Business page and your phone won't stop ringing, which can be annoying as well.
Yeah, that's true too. If you get too big, like Mitchell. So
that's what I had to do. I had to do my voicemail thing because of Google, and even you get the Google contacts or something like that, your email. But I was like, God, I wish my name would stop coming up first, because I've scaled back, but it's a I guess a double-edged sword, because I'm kind of just like bump passing it. I'm like, oh, I can't help you, but I got a friend that can.
Yeah.
So definitely that was great. A great advice from Craig.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for also, Mitchell, for mentioning Echo Means Business. These conversations and the education that we try and impart along, with a couple of laughs along the way, is what we do on Echo Means Business through our UAG and the mentorship that they offer through their content. But, you talked about how successful door hangers were for you. A couple of you actually talked about that. One of the new tools on Echo Means Business is Pro Resources. So We've got door hanger templates for customer service, leave behinds, as well as for lead generation, postcards, and a lot of other things. And we just launched rewards, so you get to save on the safety equipment. We got trailers coming on at an exclusive discounts. We got cars and pickup trucks coming out at an exclusive discount for Echo Means Business members. So there's all kinds of stuff. I'm going to encourage you guys to check it out. Membership is free. There's an opportunity to upgrade if you guys are interested, but we're doing a free trial right now. And if you enjoy these, subscribe to this channel. If you're watching this, or even if you're listening to it, go over to our Echo Means Business YouTube channel and subscribe so that you get alerted. We do these things every second Thursday. The next one, as you can see on the screen for those of you watching, is building a business line of credit. That's going to be another incredibly insightful panel. We've got a couple of really big experts coming in to help you establish credit and or build on the credit that you have, or maybe reverse bad credit. So it's going to be a really good one if you're looking to grow your business. Thanks to our panelists. Really appreciate you guys joining us and taking the time. Mitchell, Craig, Brent, thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you
guys.
Good night.
Yeah.
Right.